I mean, they've done a whole documentary on this called Shock to Awe, and it's about these vets that come in and heal themselves through this medicine.
You're a believer that it's medicine.
Listen up or run for cover. Dropping knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it. The real Brad Lee Bombs is dropping
What it is, Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. Today in the studio, folks, as promised, I've got part 2 of Corey Berrier. Corey is a certified sales, success, and nutrition coach, master personal trainer, NLP practitioner, and host of the Successful Life podcast. Now, last time you were here, you kind of, had a good time, I take it.
I did.
So you volunteered for another beating.
Yep.
Good. Well, the reason I wanted you back is because you were heading out to do an ayahuasca adventure. And I want to find out exactly what that's about, because I keep hearing, people with depression, all of these different things. Is it the gateway to frickin', awareness or some sort of revelation? Did you frickin' meet the spirits in the spirit world and all that shit? Why? Well, because if someone in the bomb squad's out there listening, and they keep hearing of ayahuasca, because I keep hearing about it, so I'm sure everyone else has. I want to know about it. I want to talk about it. I want to see if it's worth doing. I want to see if it's worth staying away from. Because, man, that's a trippy freaking concept.
Yes, it is.
Where'd you go to do it?
All right, so I went to a place called Soul.
Get up on that mic.
Here we go.
There you go.
So it's called Soul Quest Ayahuasca Church, and it's located in Orlando, Florida. And what I thought was super neat about this place, well, let me tell you about ayahuasca first. So it's a sacred plant medicine made up of, and I got to look at here how to pronounce this, chicurna, I don't know how to pronounce it, some kind of leaf that's from the Amazon, right? And so both of these plants separate don't cause any kind of reaction in you, right? They don't cause any kind of spiritual awakening or whatever it is you want to call it. But putting these two together does. It puts you in a state where you can see past your, I guess, really ego is the best way to explain that. And so the first time I went, it felt like there was really nothing happening, right? So I drank the medicine 3 times, and I didn't really get a whole lot of, I didn't get any kind of visuals, right? And so when I went back the second time, I interviewed the medical doctor or the medical director and the psychologist, one of the two, on staff. And so in my interview with this guy, he said, hey, Corey, he said, do you have control issues? And I said, well, probably. And he said, why don't you let the medicine work and do what it's supposed to do, right? Instead of me trying to control it. And what I mean by that is I held on super tight that first time because I didn't really want to throw up like these other guys that were around me. And what I did is I blocked the medicine from working. And so the second time around, and this is what's key, after listening to the doctor, the medical director, I did let go finally at Saturday morning. And what I mean by let go is I had to shut my eyes with a mask essentially over my eyes. And I just had to lay there and let the medicine work, which is, for somebody like me who does try to control everything, that was hard. And so when I finally let go, the medicine started to work. It for the lack of better words, it kind of just blasts you into a different dimension, and you're able to look past what you normally see for yourself. So for me, it was control, patience, and what was the other one? Let's see. So the other one was...
You got your notes there?
I do have my notes.
All right, making sure.
Yeah, I've got my notes.
People might have mistaken the silences.
Yeah, no. I'm just looking to make sure I tell you the right thing. And the other thing that happened was I realized that I don't have I've got a good relationship with my dad, right? But we don't talk. We talk once a week, maybe. And what I realized was he had given me a lawnmower when I bought my house. And I was mowing after this experience and realized that the reason I don't talk to him is because I've never, when he was my age, he's always been further along in life than where I am. And so I've always compared myself to his success and never felt like I was successful because I was never at his level. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, it really just drops the ego is essentially what it does. Smashes the ego if you allow it to. And
Right.
so, you know, it when you come out of this thing, there's a level of love, there's a level of value that you find in yourself, or at least for me, that was the third thing I was trying to think of, is I just distinctly remember the spirit, or whatever you want to call it, saying, you don't think that you're as valuable as you are. And I didn't really understand what that meant. And what that meant is I just devalue myself. Right? And I think a lot of people probably do that and are just not aware. Or that's what I think anyway.
Well, I would agree.
You know, it is what it is, right? So it's a great experience. So you mentioned depression, right? I don't really deal with a lot of depression, maybe mild, and it's probably seasonal. However, so there's every Wednesday they have vets come in, and these guys are on the brink of committing suicide.
Yeah.
And so they offer a completely vet run ayahuasca journey. And what's so cool about that is these guys come out of there and they don't want to commit suicide anymore. Something changes in their chemistry. And I don't really know how to explain that outside of just what they've told me. I mean, they've done a whole documentary on this called Shock to Awe, and it's about these vets that come in and heal themselves through this medicine.
You're a believer that it's medicine.
I do, yes.
Because it cures things.
I don't know if it cures, but it certainly helps.
Okay, so let's go back.
Okay.
Put away the notes. The notes are no
Yeah,
good.
I'm done.
Let's go back to this place in Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
You go in. Do you have to prep?
You do have to prep.
What's the prep like?
So you have to. So 2 weeks prior to any medication, you have to stop all medications, especially SSRIs, which are antidepressants, and that would fall under.
Were you taking any of those?
No, I haven't taken anything.
So you didn't have to stop anything.
No, other than I had pain medicine that I took for my back. Now I had to stop that, and I haven't picked that back up since then. So
Pain went away?
pain for the most part went away. Yeah.
For the most part, so there's still a little pain.
Yeah. Well, when I wear my weight vest, sometimes I get a little twinge in my back.
Sure. How old are you?
42.
Could be that.
Could be that.
So you show up, you're prepped, you're ready to go, you walk in. They say, "Hey, Mr. Berrier, how are you? Come with me."
Yeah, sort of. Well, you got to fill out some stuff first. And by the way, also the 2 week prep is no meat, no salt, no garlic, no sex, no, well, you can't have really any foreign substances in your body, because if you go into this clean, right, if you follow they call it a dieta. If you follow the dieta, then the purge is not as bad. I mean, you don't throw up quite as much, because you throw up a fucking shit ton.
You're going to throw up no matter what.
Pretty much.
Okay, so you show up there, you're all prepped, clean, ready to go, purified as you could be.
That's right.
And what happens when you arrive? They say, "Corey, come with me."
Yep. So they take you through medical, and they make sure
Is this a medical office?
It's not a medical office.
But it's an office. You're not outside in the wilderness.
Correct.
You're not in a shaman's tent.
Well, you are. Some of it. Not when you get there.
Is
but
the tent inside?
No. So it's called a...
Do they transport you to some location?
No. No, everything's there on property.
You out in the courtyard or something?
Something like that. It's like the backyard. There's a lake, and there's it's just when you step onto this property, Brad. It's the level of calmness and the level of love that you feel walking into this place is something like I can't even explain.
Cultish.
Maybe.
So you feel love.
You do.
You feel warmth.
Yes.
Might be a placebo, or no, you felt it.
Yeah, for sure I felt it.
By the other people there?
Oh, other people. So, it's interesting because some people,
Are they wearing robes?
No. Mm-mm.
Now somebody just said, let him talk. What were you going to say?
Oh, some people flail around, flop back and forth, cry, laugh. It's unbelievable. You literally outer body experience.
How many people were in your group?
So the first time was right after COVID had hit, and it was their first time back. So
we're not interested in the first time.
Yeah, 18.
First time it didn't work.
Right.
First time you controlled it.
That's right.
You held on.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't let go.
Right.
It didn't really work.
Right.
So let's forget the first time. We're talking about the second time. You showed back up.
I think there was around 40 people there the second time.
And I'm trying to paint a picture for folks so they can envision. You show up, there's a building, you walk inside. Are they wearing robes? Are they wearing nurses and doctors shit?
No, none of that actually. They so you go in and you go through medical, and then at 5:00 on Friday, that's when the ceremony starts. All right. So what that looks like is they talk to you for about an hour. They explain what exactly is going to happen, what could happen. You go around and talk about why you're there. And then at 5:00, they've already lit like a fire, right? And they've cleaned the area with sage, and lots of sage. Like it's a pot.
Burning it?
Yeah, all over the place. And so then
getting rid of bad spirits?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. And so then the shaman does some kind of, I actually don't know what he's saying because you can't really understand him, but it's some kind of shamanic song or something. There's a name for it, but I don't know what it is. And then you take the medicine, or you.
Are you in a circle now?
You do get in a circle.
Did he say everybody get in a circle?
Yeah.
Okay.
They do.
And where are you?
In
a room or out in the courtyard?
Outside.
Okay, you're in the back.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, what does it look like?
So, the tent, so to speak, that you go in, it looks kind of like a carnival tent, except for it's like yellow, and it's basically looks like something like an Indian's sort of.
Okay.
Like not a teepee, but similar.
Yeah.
Right, and it's gigantic. Huge. And so once everybody gets their medicine, you have to wait, and then they do. They make a noise or something, and then everybody drinks at the same time. You stay where so for me, I drank mine in the tent, okay, and you stay on this mat essentially, right, and you don't move, you don't communicate with other people because their journey, you could fuck up their journey by having. Asking them if they're okay, right?
Yeah.
Or asking them what.
Can you see them?
You can see. Oh yeah, you're like 2 feet.
Is everybody looking at each other?
Some people. Yeah.
Other people got their eyes closed.
Yes.
They're really getting into it.
That's right. Yeah.
So you drank it. What's it taste like?
Oh shit.
Tastes like shit.
Awful.
How much do you have to drink?
So they start you out with 1 tablespoon, which doesn't seem like much, but it's a sludgy kind of like it's awful.
They mix it or just straight?
Yeah, they do mix it, or actually when they boil it for 48 hours, or cook it or whatever for 48 hours, and it's like the best way I can explain the way it looks. It kind of looks like tar.
Okay.
And it's thick, super thick, and so 1 tablespoon is where they start you out to make sure you're not going to lose your shit. Mm-hmm. And then if you decide to up it, you can up it if they so feel that makes sense. So for me, that Saturday morning that I actually had the experience, I did four tablespoons, which most folks don't start out with that, but I just needed to experience what I went there to experience. So I just went ahead and went all in.
You wanted to be sure.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do they mix the tar with water or anything, or you just take it right out of the tablespoon?
You take it out of a shot glass, and and you just it's
Okay, so everybody does it at the same time. Tastes like shit, and then you bring the glass down, and then what?
you just wait
How long?
about a half an hour.
So
then
quietly, without
Yeah.
talking.
That's right.
You're just sitting there.
Yes.
Is there music playing?
There is, yes.
Is the sage being
No,
smoked around?
they only do that. They only do that at the beginning, and then they do it at the end. I guess obviously to clean the spirits first, and then to clean whatever the hell I guess dumped out of everybody.
Yee.
Yeah,
So, but there's music playing.
there is super loud, and it's shamanic, whatever. I don't even know how to explain what it is, but it's interesting. It's really interesting, and the music will spark. Can spark. The ayahuasca to take a different turn.
Yeah.
I know it sounds all woo woo, but it really is. That's how it works.
Yeah. So, after about a half hour, when do you start feeling things? What was the first thing you felt?
I felt like I was going to fucking spew, which I did. And you just feel like this awful sick feeling, and you know it's coming, and you know it's going to be rough. You know it without a shadow of a doubt.
But mentally, you're all there.
So yeah, you're slowly but surely you're starting to get in an altered state, and then when that happens, you do see colors, like with your eyes shut, colors, visuals. You hear voices, not voices like you're crazy, but voices like Mother Ayahuasca talking to you, meaning, "Stop, let go, Corey. Don't try to control this." And then the value. All of these things came to me during this experience.
Yeah. So 30 minutes later, you felt like shit. You were about to spew, and then did you have to first?
Yes.
So you started throwing up.
Yes.
Where's everybody else at this time?
Right beside of me.
They're throwing up too?
Yeah, mostly.
In one direction?
Well, in a garbage pail.
So you're aware enough to put it in a pail.
Yes. Well, and another thing that's really cool is they have somebody with you the whole time. So if you move, when I say if you move, like if you even look like you're going to step up off of the bed or get up off the mat, somebody's right there to hold you because you're pretty unstable.
Yeah. Are they big?
Not necessarily.
What if a big dude's doing it?
Yeah, well, you probably have to have two people, I'm guessing.
All right. So you start throwing up.
Yeah.
Just like normal throw up, nausea.
Yes.
And then
Skyrocket.
and then you started just now all of a sudden you're out of your mind.
Yeah, pretty much.
But are you still on the mat, out of your mind, and it's all mental then?
Yes.
So you're not moving around and flipping out? And
No, not for me anyway. Some people did.
what'd they do?
God, some people would, there was people, banging the ground, right? Banging the ground, yelling loud. Like you would think somebody was.
Did you look over, or do you not know to?
I did look. I didn't look over after that Saturday morning because I kept the blinders on because the distraction blocked me from getting what I needed. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, you were trying to pay attention,
Right.
so to speak.
Yeah, because you look around and you're like, why is these people laughing? Why is this person crying? Why and why am I not doing that?
So you're aware then,
You are.
because if you're aware of things going on around you, well, then you're still aware.
Yes, for sure you're aware.
So when you say you rocket to another dimension, but you're still aware of the current reality,
Yes.
okay, so then you rocket to another dimension. I would assume that's just some sort of trippy mental image.
It is. Lots of them.
Yeah, and then you start hearing voices. So what did your voices say?
You don't value yourself as much as you need to, and you need to let go, and patience.
Do you get to talk back, or are you just listening?
I did talk back because I was so determined to make sure that I did let go and I did let the medicine work. So I did have conversations with Mother Ayahuasca, not like.
Is that what they call it? Mother Ayahuasca?
They do. I don't know why, but they do.
Yeah, so Mother Ayahuasca, is it a female voice?
Mm-hmm.
So a female voice said, Corey, let go.
Exactly.
Corey, you have problems with patience. Does it sound like that?
Something like that.
Weird.
Maybe a little more feminine.
Okay. and then how long does this whole thing last?
About between 4 and 5 hours for me.
Did it seem like 4 or 5 hours?
No, it didn't.
Seemed like what?
It seemed like it was about 2 hours.
And And after they said that, did Mother Ayahuasca keep repeating it?
No, no.
So it didn't take her 4 hours to say 4 things.
No, but that was through the course of 2 experiences. So Saturday morning and Saturday night is when I heard those 2 things.
So again, it doesn't take that long. So what's happening? I'm trying to figure out, like, what are you feeling? And then like hour goes by, and then all of a sudden, what'd you say?
Well, this is
Was it clear?
It was pretty clear, because this is the thing. You're so in the experience that it's almost like the other things around you don't matter. I guess is the best way to explain that. If you're actually in the experience,
Do you stop puking after a while?
you do. In fact, you only really puke one or 2 good times, maybe 3, but they're all consecutive. So they're
And then
all,
you're done.
Yes,
What about shitting?
you can. Some people do shit themselves. Yes, for sure.
And they're aware of it?
They are aware of it.
They warn you going in?
They absolutely
Do
do.
they make you wear a diaper?
No.
What do you shit on?
I guess your pants.
Damn. Like, who would want to do this? See, this is my whole point. Like, folks, I've heard of friends of mine doing it, but why would you want to do it knowing full well you can shit yourself? What are you trying to achieve? What are you trying to learn? What do you think's going to happen? Some magical thing where you come back and now you're some fucking super genius?
No, but you do get a deeper spiritual connection
With what?
with whatever you believe. For me, it's with the universe, God, whatever you want to call it.
But is it God?
I guess.
You don't
Well,
know.
I mean, that for me it is.
Sounds like it didn't work.
No, for me it is.
Yeah, but now you should be, dude, I was there. I heard her. I did it.
I absolutely did.
So then you should have more conviction.
Well, this is the thing.
Are you worried about what other people are going to think?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah, because that's a weakness.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, so so when you stopped puking, you started going through this trip, because I've done acid and
Sure.
mushrooms. Is it like that?
So similar, yeah, similar. So if you take, I mean, when you did mushrooms, how did you feel?
Good.
Okay, yeah. So it's very similar to that feeling.
Right.
Acid's a little bit stronger, depending on if you've got good acid or if you've got bad acid, I guess.
Yeah, but you're tripping.
You are, yeah.
Okay, so you're tripping. They're monitoring you, and then 4 or 5 hours later, when do you feel like, okay, whew, that was what, crazy?
Yeah, close. For me, it was close to that 4-hour mark, and you're just like, wow, what kind of? You're just trying to wrap your head around. And here's a part I left out: the week after you do this journey, I was in a pretty much a fog, and what I mean by that is it was hard to explain what happened, and I don't understand why that is.
Was she asking a lot of questions?
She did ask some questions, but again, it was super hard for me to explain, but she could tell a difference in me when I got back, both times.
Did you? Were you told to wait outside? But were you supposed to wait outside?
Yeah, she did.
You said, I'll see you when you get back.
Yep.
Yep.
How'd that feel, knowing full well he was going to go trip his balls off?
It was 90 degrees. I was like totally fine. I was in a nice air conditioned.
How come you didn't want to do it?
Because I have panic attacks way too easily, so I felt like that was gonna.
Yeah, but maybe that's why you have panic attacks, because you haven't purged the inner
No,
demons.
you're right. 100%.
Do you think you purged inner demons?
I think I purged something. I don't know about demons, but definitely some kind of. Well, I guess you could say the negative thoughts that come into a lot of people's minds. And now, what I mean by that again is the whole value thing. I think was super important.
So you heard you don't value yourself. Did they tell you why? Did they tell you how to fix it
No.
and remedy that? They just said you don't value yourself.
Yes, and that's the thing. It's not like they give you the answer. They just give you the key to unlock the door. You got to unlock it, and the work's done really after you get back. And that's what I was saying about that week. I was just in kind of a fog, and you're processing all the shit that you've seen and heard. Now, for some folks, this is a scary thing. Like, for some folks, they see awful shit.
Like what, though? Who have
Like-
you talked to?
Well, like, okay, here's a great example. There was a guy there, and he was gay, right? Nobody knew he was gay, including his father, who was there, and his sister. Well, his sister knew. Dad didn't know. And so what happened for him after he did his first journey is he realized that he doesn't really need to be ashamed of being gay. And so that's a good example of a transformation, so to speak.
So it just brings you awareness.
It does. And it's almost like it gives you maybe even courage a little bit, right? Or clarification.
Sounds like it unlocks the answers that you already have inside you.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
And so basically, because you're tripping and doing this ceremony, you tend to give it more weight.
Yes. Now, look, people do these same type ceremonies with mushrooms, with several other things. Something, I can't remember the name of it. I've not done it, so I don't know. But yeah, they use, some people use mushrooms in their ayahuasca ceremony. These guys did not.
How did you select this one? Referral?
No.
Google?
Let me think. I watched Brian Rose. I know you know who that is.
Yep.
So he did a documentary on ayahuasca when he went to do it, and I just happened to run across it. And as I was watching it, just something said, I need to look into this. And I don't know. I can't really explain what that was. So ayahuasca.
Because you're seeking.
I guess. I wasn't really seeking that.
Yeah, but you're seeking.
Yes. I'm always seeking, though.
Yeah.
More knowledge or just to be better. Always.
Do you think it'll ever be enough?
It's a good question.
Yeah, like, when do you feel like you've arrived?
I don't ever feel like I've arrived.
That's a sad state of affairs, Mr. Berrier.
Well, that's exactly how it is.
That's probably why Mother Ayahuasca was telling you.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, like you should be happy now.
Right.
What if you died tomorrow?
I wouldn't be good.
Well, then you would have died unfulfilled,
That's
searching for something,
Well,
looking, wanting, seeking, instead of content, happy, fulfilled. Like, I understand, like, if I'm trying to get buff, well, once I have abs and I look in the mirror and I like what I see, I've arrived. I built this. I'm happy now. But that'd be like, you can never have a good enough body. You can never have enough money. You can never have enough love and admiration. It's like, no matter how much you get, you're always going to want more. That's a scary and sad thought.
Yeah. Well, there's certain areas of my life where I always want more. Like, you always want more money.
Well, sure.
Right? I mean, that's pretty common.
Wanting more and needing more are two different things.
Two different things.
Yeah,
So-
because like if someone said to me, Brad, you're done where you are, and that's that, you can't get any more, I'd be like, cool,
Okay.
yeah, I just go enjoy.
Right.
Now, why do I work and do things I do? Well, because I do want more, because I think the more you have, the more you can impact, and the more you can experience, and the more potential you can fill.
I agree.
Because you need, in order to reach your potential, you need access to things and resources, and in this society that takes money.
That's exactly.
So I just want more money so I can experience more things. But if they said that's it, man, I'm content. I'm happy.
Sure. No, that makes sense.
Are you?
I am. If somebody said, "Hey, today's your last day," that's it. That's a different scenario than just going to seek more knowledge or to get better or always wanting more, right? I mean, you wouldn't want more if somebody said, "Hey, you're done."
Do you value yourself now
I do.
more than before?
Yes,
Consciously?
I do.
Is there any merit to that? Like, what makes you any better now?
You know what? It's crazy because I've been in sales for years, right? And I can sell anything I believe in. But one of the things that I had the hardest thing doing was selling myself.
Why?
Which I don't know. I have absolutely no idea. And so what that did is it helped me to unlock that negative thought, I guess you could say. Yeah.
So if people are listening to this, do you think what indications would it be that they may want to look into ayahuasca?
Well, if you're on antidepressants, because look, you know as well as I do, antidepressants don't really work. Most people that are on antidepressants are still depressed.
Well, again, I don't know. I don't take them.
Yeah, well, me either, but
I don't even know what depression feels like. Like, I've woke up sometimes and thought, I don't want to really do anything, but I call that boredom or laziness. What's depression?
I think for some people, I know for some people, they can't even get out of bed. I had a friend
Yeah,
call
but
me.
what for?
Hell, it could be for anything. It could be you going through a divorce, or it could be that you're drinking too much, or it could be, the list goes on and on. But for somebody listening, if they're thinking, well, maybe I should look into this, I would suggest that, yeah, you should look into it. I'm not saying that it's for you, but it could be.
You're not advising it.
I'm not saying that you should go do it, but I'm saying that it helped me, and it's helped, I can't even tell you how many other people.
Have you ever heard of the opposite?
Yes, actually.
Where it's hurt somebody?
Sort of. So there was a lady there that was bipolar, and it was her second time being there. And evidently, when she went through it the first time, she was clinically depressed for almost 3 months. Like, didn't go to work, didn't clean her house. It sounded awful. Now, if that were me, I don't know that I would come back and do it again. She did. Now, I don't have a clue how she came out after that. But so to answer, yeah, absolutely, it could go the opposite direction. That's why they screen you so well to make sure that it's not going to go in that direction. Really, somebody's bipolar, it would not be a good idea for them to go do this, because that's one of the contraindications that you're not supposed to do it if you're bipolar. And there was another one.
Maybe I'm bipolar.
Could be.
How do you know?
Well, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but
I know I used to have a self-esteem issue. I was going to get help for it, but then I figured, nah, I'm not worth it.
yeah.
Just like I used to be really indecisive, but now I'm not so sure.
That sounds like about the same problem.
Yeah, I don't, I just don't know what depression feels like. Because to me, like, I understand what depression feels like. Okay, I've been hurt and all that, but to me, it's like as soon as you start to, something else flashes, shiny object, you're bummed out because something happened, but then a couple days later, something good happens, so you snap out of it. It's like, dude, it just distracts you, and it's like next thing you know, like you ever break up with a girl and you're all heartbroken and you think you'll never find another one, and then you find another one. And I always tell people, if something were to happen with this one, guess what? You might be butthurt, but guess what? 3-4 years later, or 3-4 days later, you're going to end up with another one. And I've never been with one that I say, she's not as good as my last one.
No, me either.
It's always, well, I'm sure glad I got out of that deal because now I'm with this one. And then you break up and you're thinking your world's over. And then you meet another one. And it's like, that one's the best one. So it's like, it's always I think the next thing keeps me from being depressed.
I agree. And I think some people, and like my buddy that called me today that said he was, quote unquote, depressed because he was going through a breakup with his wife. I think it's just something mentally that gets stuck and it's on repeat, right? It feels like you can't get out of whatever this shit feeling that you've got. That's the best way I know how to describe it.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say you need ayahuasca to fix that. Maybe it does fix it. And again, I'm not one to suggest drugs of any kind ever, but I'm not against them.
Sure.
In some cases, if it helps. But to me, like if someone was depressed, I would just be convincing that individual that you're making yourself depressed. It's a choice. Now, some people could argue and say clinical depression is real and yada, 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 and I'm sure it is. But whenever I felt quote unquote depressed, it's only temporary until something good happens. And then I focus on the good. And next thing you know, I don't remember the bad. And then pretty soon you just don't even care anymore. It's like, when you break up with a girl, you're bummed out. She's dating someone else. And then 2 years later, you don't give a shit if you see her at a bar with someone. You have no feeling whatsoever. It doesn't bother you at all. But as soon as you broke up, see her at a bar with another dude. How do you feel?
Yeah, not so hot.
Yeah, was that depressed? But to me, it's like, I'm depressed. Why? Well, because my life's not going to be good anymore Why? Well, because this person's no longer in it. Yeah, but dude, that means you don't value yourself.
And that person really shouldn't have that much control.
Well, not only that, but that means you don't value yourself. Like, dude, if like I believe that people in my life are, I don't want to sound egotistical, but they're lucky. Why? Well, because they get to share me with me. like it's fun. Like, dude, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna laugh. We're never gonna be bored. We're gonna enjoy each other. Now, again, boredom does set in, especially when you've been married so long. But mentally, you know, people are lucky to be in my life. Like, I think. Why? Well, because I know that I bring value, and they're gonna have fun, and they're gonna have, you know, it's good. It's a good thing. But when somebody breaks up with somebody, and now you think your life's going to be fucked moving forward. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to have fun anymore because that person is no longer in it. Well, then you value that person more than you value yourself. And to me, I don't know if it's ego, but I just don't do that.
Sure. Well, I wonder too, you know, as you well know, you can think yourself into being upset. You can think yourself into being happy.
100%.
Yeah. So that's what happens, I believe, with people.
That is what happens.
That gets to, yeah, because it starts that shit cycle, and it continues to spiral into now I can't get out of
depression.
bed. Yeah.
Yeah, because you're self-talking yourself
right
into depression.
Exactly.
I'm not worth anything. Life's not going to be fun anymore. It's not worth living anymore.
Or we should all wear a mask, or we should all be scared to death of the coronavirus. Same exact thing.
That's not even relevant.
Well, it is, because
what's that got to do
well,
with it?
Because people think this thing is so bad, and they've convinced themselves that if I don't do this or this or this, I'm going to catch this and die immediately.
Well, it's not really the same as what we're talking about, in my opinion, because the mask is, I watch the news, I believe the news, they say you're going to die, I put on a mask.
Sure.
It's not me self-talking. It's not people sitting there without a mask and all of a sudden they have a mask. They've developed a fear of coronavirus. They've been told to put on a mask. They fear the rejection and ridicule of other people who believe in masks. Like, dude, I can't believe how many people wear masks.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe everyone doesn't just say, fuck you and your mask rule.
Me either.
Like, I ain't wearing your fucking mask. I just won't go to your business. So a lot of people say, well, how's Vegas? I don't know. I'm not out in the world. They want me to wear a mask. I'm not wearing masks into places. Like, that mask, in my opinion, causes more harm than good. And if you're that afraid to wear a mask makes sense, well, then stay the fuck home. That makes even more sense.
Agreed. 1,000%.
Yeah, like, dude, and not only that, dude, the masks don't work.
Right.
Okay? It's 100% scientifically proven. The mask will not stop you from getting coronavirus. Now, some people say, well, it helps. Okay, well, again, if you knew a chick had AIDS, would you fuck her with a rubber?
Nope.
Okay. then why are you walking out with a mask?
Right. Same.
Okay.
Yeah. Same.
At the end of the day, dude, if I knew a girl had AIDS, I wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole in fear of me getting it and dying.
Right.
Okay. But number one, what if AIDS didn't kill you? What if AIDS, you went and got penicillin? Then would you fuck her? You'd start thinking about it. Why? Well, what's the worst thing that can happen?
Right.
You know, so if you're so afraid of COVID-19 that you have to wear a mask, I would suggest just don't leave your house. And people say, well, you have to. You don't have to.
You don't have to do anything.
You know, I go to a restaurant, dude. People walk in with a mask, then sit down and take their mask off. So essentially everyone has their mask off that sat and eating, and then the people walking in have to have a mask on. That makes no sense.
Zero. Well,
but I don't want to get into mask conversation again because I've already harped on it enough. Like, I don't care. Wear a mask. Then I don't care. Like, when I see people in a mask nowadays, I don't give a fuck. Wear a mask. I'm just wondering when it'll end and what will signal the end. Like, is it the CDC saying, okay, you don't have to wear a mask anymore? And then everyone goes, oh, thank God I didn't want to wear one of those. Or are you going to have people going, I still want people wearing masks? Because quite frankly, I got to be honest, I like seeing waiters with the mask. Now, the reason why is because they're carrying my food.
yes.
And I'm not worried about a virus. I'm worried about their spit. I'm worried about, because when you talk, dude, sometimes you spit.
Of course.
So in that case, I believe in masks. Why? Well, because you don't want me to spit on you.
Right.
But it has nothing to do with coronavirus. I don't want your spit on me.
Yeah.
So when it comes to waiters, when they're walking around with those masks, I always think, dude, that's cool. I like that.
Why do you think about too? The cooks are probably having to wear masks.
Dude,
so
trust me.
That's great.
If you're a germaphobe, you don't eat out. And I know a few germaphobes, and I know people that are paranoid, and they don't eat out. I know people that have owned restaurants, and based on what they've witnessed, they don't eat out, period. Like when you go to a bar, hey, give me a drink, and they throw a lemon in it. Who cut that lemon? That lemon was exposed. That lemon could be freaking old. It could be contaminated. Someone could have just itched their ass and touched your lemon, which now you have fecal matter on your lemon and you drink it. But guess what, folks? That is how our immunity increases. It is the acceptance of the toxins and the shit that we're bringing in that then the body, miraculous thing, creates and kills and prepares for the defense.
That's exactly right.
So if you ask me, dude, your masks are going to do more harm than good.
Yes, because it's going to protect you from what protects your body naturally.
Yeah. So anyway, fuck masks.
Yeah. Anyway.
I'm just wondering what's the catalyst of it ending. Like today's the day. Hey, June 19th, we don't have to wear masks anymore. Then the whole world's back to normal.
I think that's how it's going to go.
I don't.
You don't?
Nope. I think masks are a part of society now, just like it is in China. In China, before this, there was a lot of people wear masks.
Yeah.
Germaphobes, people that were sick that didn't that were trying to be polite and not get other people sick. But if you knew she had any kind of deadly disease and she was wearing a mask and you were wearing a mask, would you go around her?
Well,
no. Dude, I don't
But-
give a rat's ass unless it's my kids and they're dying and I'm going in there to be with them so they're not scared. Something like that, maybe. But if my wife had a deadly disease, I'm not going around her. I'll see her through the bubble.
Right. No, that makes sense. I mean, it's the same. Yeah, I agree with you.
Well, of course. And my wife would do the same thing. Like, hey, you go in that room, you could get what he's got and you would die. Oh, well, then she'll be out in the bubble. And if you're mad that she won't come in and expose herself, well, then, you don't love her enough, if you ask me. Yeah. But in extreme cases like that, it's obvious. But in cases like COVID-19, if I believed that a mask worked, I'd wear a mask. Why? Well, because I don't want it.
Sure.
But when you know for a fact that the masks don't work, you know for a fact, scientifically proven, and the fact that it's freaking cotton, dude. Half the masks that are out there, they're not N95 kick-ass, triple filtered, they don't stop corona viruses.
No, it'll stop anything.
It's like putting up a chain link fence to stop flies.
Right.
It's not happening. So
No.
so why do the chain link fence if it's not stopping flies? Well, it might stop one. No, it won't.
Mm-mm.
If it's going to get you, it's going to get you. So at the end of the day, my question is, how come instead of masks, they're not teaching us how to raise our immunity? They're not teaching us how to, eat correctly and exercise correctly.
That's right.
So is it really about safety? Because they're like, put on a mask. It ain't about safety. Otherwise, they'd say,
Stop eating sugar.
Stop eating. Yeah.
Right.
Stop eating like shit.
Right.
That would help you more anyway. And guess what? When this whole coronavirus is over, now you're healthy too.
Right. Or get off the couch.
Yeah.
Do something other than, play on your phone or watch television. Get up and move.
Be
little
active.
bit. Yeah.
Are you active?
Super active.
You're doing 75 hard.
I am. Yes.
Or did you give up?
No, I've done it twice.
Are you doing it now?
I'm half-assed doing it now. So not really doing it.
So you're not doing it.
I'm not doing
Dude,
it.
I'm calling fucking Andy right now. Can't believe you even said that.
Well, I'm just telling you the truth.
No. There's no half-ass doing it.
Yeah.
You either doing it or you're not doing it.
Right.
Now, again, if like people say, why don't I do it? Well, it doesn't mean I'm not working out. Doesn't mean I can't take a picture every day. Doesn't mean I'm not drinking my gallon of water. It means that I'm not doing 75 hard.
Sure.
You either doing it or you're not.
Right.
Are you doing it?
So no.
No, you're not doing it.
No. But I'm staying with some of the guidelines that I set before.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you're staying fit.
I am.
What about the results of the ayahuasca? Do you feel better? Like, do you wake up more enthusiastic, more happy? Do you love her more? Do you love yourself more? Are you?
Yes.
Are the trees brighter green and the skies bluer than they've ever been?
It's actually interesting that you say that. As a matter of fact, they are. In fact, I was just telling Autumn the other day, I was surprised at how the skies where I live have been they've been almost the color of the, I don't know if you, of course you could see it, the red right there. It's kind of a cotton candy. And so I've never really noticed the sky being like that. And she looks at me a little funny when I mention it. But so yeah, I do believe that it does something for, hell, I guess maybe even your eyesight. Right?
Does it?
I think so.
Improvement or
Just different.
ultra color?
Just different. You just notice things that you wouldn't normally notice. Kind of like you said, the greener the trees, the skies are bluer. Outside of that, yeah, of course I feel better because it showed me something I needed to work on, and I've worked on that. Right?
And you continue to?
Mm-hmm. I do.
How do you do that?
Just
What if someone doesn't value themselves? They're listening to this going, that's me, dude. I don't value myself. How would they better that?
I would say, well, one, I think personal development is a major role. I mean, you need to find people that you can learn from. You need to find people that you want to emulate, I suppose, would be a great way to say it. And that's, I think that would help. I know that's helped me tremendously.
So look for mentors and coaches
Yeah, absolutely.
and listen to them.
Yeah, because really it all boils
But
down
if
to
you
mindset.
don't value yourself,
It's a mindset thing. That's all it is. You know
but how do you
that.
fix it?
You got to work on it. You got to figure out what the problem is. What you've got to get over.
How do you do that?
You got to dig. You got to read. You got to listen to podcasts. You got to listen to people that have done what you're trying to do, or listen to people who do value themselves.
Yeah.
And see how they talk. Right.
Yeah, I think it goes back to reading, writing, and speaking. My boy Jay Duran uses that. Because believe it or not, the more you read, the more it makes you think. And the more you think, the more you really question. And the more you question, the more you get the answers. And so literally reading a bunch of books, you might read 6 that didn't mean anything or do anything, but the other ones made you question. So if you were to read every day, write in a journal every day, just your thoughts, believe it or not, you get to know yourself 100 times better.
I totally agree.
And then ultimately you start to realize you are more valuable than you thought you were.
True.
Because everybody's an individual and everybody's got value one way or another.
Right.
In general. Because again, there's some dirt balls out there that are humping kids. You know, they've got no value in my book.
None.
What about that pedophilia shit that's going around saying Hollywood's that? Do you believe any of it?
You know what? I don't know what to believe because it's so absolutely fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
That it's almost so bizarre because we've got politicians, we've got people.
Do you believe in God?
I do.
Do you believe in the devil?
I don't know about that.
You have to.
Do I?
Can't believe in one without the other.
Well,
You cannot believe in one without the other.
why not?
Because if you believe in one, then he is telling you that the devil exists.
So I think I would say I believe in the universe / God because I don't know that I believe in the whole in hell. I don't know that I believe that we're going to hell when we die. If you're a person that has made bad decisions, I don't know that I believe that.
Well, then you can't believe in God.
Well, I do though.
You believe in a God,
I believe in a God,
but not like the normal Bible.
not like the guy up in the sky. I don't necessarily believe there's a guy in the sky.
Could be a girl.
It could be.
Are you seeking for that?
For God, or
Maybe the listeners can reach out to you.
they should.
Hit you up on the DM.
That's right.
Anybody that really understands what's real. I got a dude right now hit me up in the DM wanting to jump on a Zoom, talking about he's got proof. It's the craze. He said you're going to be blown away, and I'm like, damn, dude, I might get on a Zoom with this dude.
Proof that there is a God.
Oh yeah, like he said, dude, 20 minutes on a Zoom with him, I'm going to see some evidence beyond evidence, and I'm going to be just. It's going to be the biggest moment of your life. He doesn't want to meet in person, or I'd be like, hell no.
Yeah.
But a Zoom, like, yeah, okay, I'm open. What do you got to say? Now, what if all of a sudden, dude, like that's like there was some sort of proof that luckily through social media I got the opportunity to see.
I would say take that 20 minutes.
Because don't you think if everybody were listening right now and the sky just opened up, right? We saw a beam come through the ceiling. If you're outside, you saw the beam. It's like it doesn't matter where you were. You saw a beam, big old bright light, and a voice said, I am real, my child. I am real. Go and do good. Pick up the Bible. Live your life for me. That would be all you needed to hear.
That'd be it. That'd be it for me.
Me too. Everybody else.
Yeah.
So why is it like we don't get signs like that? Well, this guy claims that he's got like that kind of evidence.
Is he giving you anything? Or he just
says, let's get on a Zoom, which I'm going to do.
You should.
I'm going to.
That would
Dude,
be
I'm open to learning. I listen to everybody, everything. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, Mexican. I don't care if you're poor, if you're rich, if you're male, if you're female. Like, dude, I guarantee you, dude, there's people out there that know something you don't, and I just want more info.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to listen. Now, again, I got a couple crazies too hitting me up with, babble and shit like that, which I don't fall for. But like sane people that claim to have some sort of insight or evidence or proof or perspective, dude, I love to hear it. I prefer it in the DM. So if you guys are listening to this, don't just hit me up for a Zoom meeting unless you got some serious mind-blowing shit or an opportunity like you wouldn't believe. And it better be real.
Right. How do you know if it's
Well, you have discernment, my friend.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you see what you can do.
So you must feel like this guy's got some good information. It must.
Well, I know he's into Jesus, but when I asked him a few questions, like, you mean Yahshua? Because, dude, if you call him Jesus, there's nothing wrong with that. But that wasn't his name.
Right.
So if your name's Corey, and I know your name was Corey, why would I call you anything else, especially when you told me to call you Corey? And you've asked me to call you Corey. Why would I call you anything else?
Well, that's a good question. So
it's because they don't know that his name wasn't Jesus. His name, when they talk about Jesus, they're talking about a guy by the name of Yahshua or Yeshua, if that's what you want to call him. It's how you pronounce it, but it's still Yahshua. His name was Yahshua.
So why is that? Why is that not? Why is that not, do they not refer to that in the Bible?
Well,
Why?
because the Bible's been altered over the years.
And that's why I have a bit of an issue with religion, because you don't know what to believe.
Well, you're right. So I think you look inside and you believe what your voices say, because if you believe in God, then you know you are of God.
Right.
And not only that, if you really believe in God, and this is the part no one can ever explain to me. If you really believe in God, well, then it's already determined, isn't it?
It is.
And if it's already determined, then just do your thing, bro.
That's right.
Because you can't change what's already determined.
That's true.
See what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
If right now there's a book of lambs
Yeah.
where all the people going to heaven are in it, they're already in it. You're either in it or you're not. Now, again, what if you're a murderer? You're not in it. You could be. How do you know that in 7 years from now, you're not going to frickin' all of a sudden change, find God, ask for forgiveness, and now you're in it, which means that's what would have happened no matter what you did.
Right.
So if you ask me, just in my opinion, be a good person. Try to help fellow man. Be a good person. Do the best you can. And I think you're going to be all right.
But you got to do that also with no expectation of anything in return.
Well, I'm expecting that when I die, if there's an afterlife, I go to the good one.
Sure, I'm talking about more along the lines of when you do something to help somebody and be a good person, you can't do it and expect to get something back. Because
I do.
Right.
But
okay.
it's not in this life
right.
that I expect something back. Like, in other words, I'm not doing it to help anybody, but I am doing it to help me.
Sure.
Why? Well, because from what I've been told, the shit you do here determines what you get there. And if you're all about the money here and you're ripping people off and you're, a cheat and a steal and a liar and a thief and you're just a bad person, oh, you're real fucked when you get there. That's the story.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Well, if that's the story, who am I to question it? Why don't I just hedge my bet?
Yeah.
Now, someone's listening to this going, well, then you're never going to make it because you don't have faith. Well, I have intelligence. And my thought is, it's better if you're wrong and he doesn't exist and you were a good person than if you're wrong, he does exist and you should have been a good person. So what's the harm of just being a good person? Be a good person. Help other people. Make the world a better place. Leave things better than you found them. Right?
Yes.
Honestly and openly. And if you die and there was not a God, well, number one, you either don't know or it's all bullshit. You're just lights out. Or you realize there was a God and you did the right thing. Because if you did all that and you died and all of a sudden you're going to hell, why? Well, because you didn't decipher the right parable or you didn't understand that confusing scripture, then the whole story's bullshit anyway. Because it says he's a loving God, right?
That's right.
So if but we don't know. How do we know? So this is a whole nother episode. Yeah. We got to get rolling, Corey. What's 3 things you would tell somebody that's out there right now thinking about ayahuasca?
I would say do your research for sure.
Yep.
1, 2, follow the dieta if you decide to go forward with it. And 3, you've got to, when you go into this thing, you got to go into it with a super open mind, so much so that you may even have to, like I had to, literally talk to myself so I would not try to control the experience. You've got to go in with an open mind. That's the biggest thing out of all 3 of those, I think.
Folks, there you have it. Corey Berrier, part 2. If you want to follow him, at Corey Berrier on Instagram and the rest of them. If you guys want like coaching, personal training, sales training. Now you got video creation training.
Yep, I'm focused right now on sales and video.
But ultimately, you help people.
That's right.
So, folks, if you need help and you like this dude the way he says because, which is because, everyone from the South always says because.
Because.
Yeah, but you say because.
Because? I don't know how I say it.
Like, ask me why I was eating dinner.
Because you were hungry.
Yeah, that's
why.
why.
Were you eating? Did I say it right?
Yeah, because I was hungry.
Right.
Because, right? But everyone from the South that I know always says because.
How do you say it? Because.
How do you say it?
I think because.
Yeah, you
I
do.
guess so, yeah.
Because.
Yeah.
So if you guys like the way he says because, well, then you follow him because that would be the right thing to do. Till next time, share it out, keep it real.